Hello and welcome to Chapter 7 of the Online Teaching Survival Guide. This is the second phase that provides you with tips for the early middle of an online course. The first set of tips focuses on the teacher's role as a manager of teaching the course and the learning experiences. The second set of tips discusses the strategies and the tools for the early middle and building a community. The third set of tips focuses on building cognitive presence. And lastly, it will discuss two effective tools that can be used: discussion posts and also projects. The first set of tips focuses on managing your course. At this point in the course, facilitators should be communicating a strong teaching presence. Through the course management system, facilitators should have already set up a weekly rhythm where students are also receiving feedback through loops and specific tools. Students should also be completing small group projects with the facilitator's assistance to make sure that students are engaged in the course. Some tips for communicating a strong teaching presence is to use emails, announcements, and instant messaging. Emails allow you to reach the students quickly without any exceptions. Announcements provide students with general messages and reminders, and instant messaging is an informal conversation tool that allows you to informally connect with your students. Another great tool to utilize is a course management system. It is a synchronous collaboration tool that allows facilitators to post quizzes for practice, for students to post discussion forums, and also have tools for conference areas. The weekly rhythm of an online course should be predictable, consistent, and flexible. Facilitators should revise schedules as needed depending on other responsibilities. Make sure to give yourself, the faculty, time or shortcuts to give students feedback. Make sure you meet the needs of student schedules also. If possible, keep synchronous meetings with time considerations. A student's course experience consists of the content of the readings and the overall structure of the course requirements and the communication with faculty, and their own participation in the course. Therefore, student feedback is essentially very important. Early feedback loops include surveys, forums in the CMS, and also course evaluations. Early feedback tools can also include rubrics, quizzes, and peer reviews. Provide a variety of feedback in order to set a strong teaching presence. The next tip focuses on group projects within an online course. Begin by setting up groups. Provide directions and rubrics, and lastly, supply criteria. Begin by setting up groups, provide directions and rubrics, and lastly, supply the criteria and processes for completing these projects. The course goals should guide the formation of the groups, so try not to let students set up themselves. Keep in mind the certain factors when creating groups. Include some factors such as the amount of familiar content or expertise of each student, the number of roles a group needs, learner goals, culture, gender, and age, online work habits, and time zones of each student. Tip 7 focuses on sharing the teaching and learning experience using a teaching assistant. Using the win-win model is a team teaching model that allows the teaching assistant to take over some components of the class and add additional strategies. It allows the facilitator to be away without losing the teaching presence and provides more personal attention to other students. Lastly, it models and promotes collaboration for students who are often used to working alone. Tip 8 focuses on building a community through peer interactions, synchronous collaboration, and audio and video resources. Peer interaction builds a learning community through meaningful dialogue and questioning. Collaborative environments can occur via live classrooms or free tools such as full-function open live classrooms provided in the institutional's IT infrastructure. Also, CMS services, informal or free options for instant collaboration, Google tools, Google Apps for Education, and spontaneous and customizable collaboration. Students or facilitators should mix and match these tools as they see fit. Students can create their own mobile ecosystem. The last part of building an online community is by adding audio and video resources. Audio can be used to introduce the instructor so you get an idea of what the instructor's voice sounds like, and also to give announcements. Some resources that you can use are things like podcasts, which allow students to receive information in a different way than text. Building cognitive presence is a very important aspect of an online course. It is built through meaningful conversations, inquiry, faculty commitment, intellectual conversations, affection, significance, and ongoing discussion. Good discussions are built on what, why, and what you wish questions. Some discussion wraps bring to closure discussions and summarize discussion with text and audio chats. Lastly, learner projects are assessment plans. There are three-step processes to identify outcomes, decide evidence accepted, and include learning experiences. In summary, this chapter focused on building a learning community, planning projects, and building a strong teaching presence.